remember him, I was on a bed and there was a white sheet over the mattress, and my father was on top of me.
In 1994, Gary Ramona filed an $8 million malpractice suit against two therapists who had treated his daughter. His claim, they had deluded the 23-year-old into believing he had raped her as a child.
Sodium amytal, suggestions were made to her that she'd been sexually abused.
The therapist said they merely helped Holly Ramona recover a repressed memory. Her father called it a false memory, implanted by the therapist during a session using sodium amytal, or so-called truth serum. There is considerable debate about the practice in psychiatric circles.
To accuse someone with only a recovered memory or only something that's gained through sodium amytal, I think is not scientifically valid.
After he was accused by his daughter, Ramona became estranged from his wife and children and was fired from his $400,000 a year job as a winery executive.
Somebody has to stand up to the type of incompetence and how they destroyed a beautiful family.
But the psychiatrist Ramona sued said the lawsuit was just another attempt to manipulate and control his daughter.
She expressed fear to me that there would be retaliation from her father should she even describe to me her problems.
The jury sided with Gary Ramona, awarding him $500,000 in damages.
The money was not the issue, so I'm thankful to God and to the friends who supported me. It's a very lonely, lonely road.
Some therapists worried that the case would have a chilling effect on their profession.
Therapists are going to have to be very careful about how they question their patients. They're going to have to think first about using things like hypnosis or amytal.
Holly's therapist said the real losers in this case are victims of sexual abuse.
This puts the patient in the position of, can I tell anybody what really happened?
As in the Ramona trial, the complexities of the human mind were at the heart of the case of Collin Ferguson. In Ferguson's case, it was a question of an accused killer's competence, both to stand trial and to defend himself. 6 people died in a December 1993 shooting spree on the Long Island Railroad, and 19 others were wounded. A man carrying notes in his pockets suggesting hatred of whites was taken away in handcuffs after other passengers wrested a gun out of his hands. That was Collin Ferguson.
I believe that I can prove my innocence. I believe that I can be acquitted. And I believe that I can do a better job than just about anyone else.
He was judged competent to stand trial, but when his lawyers recommended that he plead guilty by reason of insanity, he fired them, choosing instead to represent himself. The 1995 trial caused many to question Ferguson's sanity.
The evidence will show that Collin Ferguson was in fact a well-meaning passenger on the train. And also a well-meaning passenger transporting to Safe Haven a firearm, which in fact he purchased legally. There were 93 counts to that indictment. 93 counts, only because it matches the year 1993.
If Collin Ferguson was mad, as his former lawyers claimed, it was not a raving, violent madness, at least not in the courtroom.
On that matter, Judge, I am requesting an opportunity for several reasons which I can give to you.
Well-mannered most of the time, weighing everything he said with deadly earnestness, sometimes he even sounded like a lawyer.
Excuse me, Judge, objection. After what event? And you're on the oath, am I correct?
Yes.
Judge, could you admonish the witness to answer the question? I asked him a simple question. And Judge, the prejudicial effect of those photographs exceed their probative value. At the time that you were shot, Mr. Casaza.
At the trial, Ferguson cross-examined some of the victims face-to-face, people he was accused of shooting.
I saw a man get up. I looked over, looked me dead in the eyes, and shot me. I'm sorry, point blank right in the chest.
Upon hearing gunshots, I saw you coming up the aisle in what appeared to be a shooting position.
Ferguson's former attorney called it the trial of a madman.
What we are watching unfold is an obscene and a tragic spectacle.